Chapter 2, Mishnah 4. The previous Mishnah taught that a par halim devar, or par kohen Mashiach, is brought only for a mistaken ruling about a prohibition that is subject to a chatas. This Mishnah discusses whether these offerings are brought for a ruling about a law that is subject to a special type of chatas, known as the variable chatas offering. They, the court and anointed kohen, are not obligated to bring a par halim devar, or par kohen Mashiach, if they issue a mistaken ruling about the positive commandment or the prohibition of the temple. That is, the prohibition against entering the temple while tameh, and the positive commandment that if a person becomes tameh while in the temple, he must leave as quickly as possible by the shortest route. A person who transgresses these laws does not bring a standard chatas offering, but rather a variable chatas offering, and the par halim devar and par kohen Mashiach are brought only for a mistaken ruling about a law that is subject to a standard chatas. If a person is in doubt whether he is obligated to bring a standard chatas offering, he brings an offering known as asham talui. The Mishnah discusses whether a person brings an asham talui if he is in doubt whether he is obligated to bring a variable chatas offering. Similarly, a person does not bring an asham talui offering if he is unsure whether he violated the positive commandment or prohibition of the temple. An asham talui is brought only if a person is unsure whether he is liable to a standard chatas, and not if he is unsure whether he is liable to a variable chatas. Since these laws of the temple are subject to variable chatas offerings, no asham talui is brought for them. The Mishnah now gives an example of sins that are subject to a par halim devar, par kohen Mashiach, and asham talui. However, they, the court and the anointed kohen, are liable to bring a par halim devar or par kohen Mashiach if they issue a mistaken ruling about the positive commandment or prohibition about cohabiting with a nida, because these are sins that obligate a person to bring a standard chatas. Likewise, an individual brings an asham talui if he is unsure whether he violated the positive commandment or prohibition about a nida. Since these sins are subject to a standard chatas, they are subject to the law of asham talui. The Mishnah defines the positive commandment and prohibition of a nida. What is the positive commandment of a nida? It is the commandment, separate from a nida in a particular manner. That is, if a man was cohabiting with a woman and she became a nida, he must separate from her and do so in a manner that avoids the prohibition of cohabiting with a nida. And what is the prohibition of a nida? It is the commandment, do not cohabit with a nida. That is, the prohibition not to cohabit with a woman who is already a nida. If the court or anointed kohen issues a ruling to abolish either of these laws, and the community or kohen follows the ruling, they are obligated to bring a par halim devar or par kohen Mashiach. Likewise, if a person is unsure whether he transgressed any of these laws, he must bring an asham talui.